Jaguars, baby. And we gotta keep it hype.
Keep it hype.
Represent it for life. You know how we do it. Woo! Hey! Jacksonville Jags. We don't mean to brag, but when we on the field, we got it in the bag. Jacksonville Jags. You know how we ball. Best believe it. Got the people screaming out, Duval. Jacksonville Jags. We don't mean to brag, but when we on the field, we got it in the bag. Jacksonville Jags. You know how we ball. Best believe it. Got the people screaming out, Duval. Okay, Jacksonville Jaguars. Too much for your crew to handle.
And what is going on, everybody? Welcome back into Club Jaguar. Guys, we're back. We're back, okay? The hurricane has gone. The illnesses are gone. We are back. And this is the first ever victory form of Club Jaguar. So we're really excited to be able to, kind of talk about this last game, talk about the Jaguars' future, talk about some current events going on with the Jaguars. Before I bring in Jordan and Jason, do want to give a quick shout out to this stream and this show's sponsor, BetUS. Guys, BetUS is currently doing a promo. It's a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit using promo code YouTube150 and 125% on your second and third deposits. So supporting the channel definitely, or supporting a sponsor definitely supports the channel. So really appreciate those guys over there. So we'll go ahead and bring a couple of guys in. First of all, if there was a most dedicated and a perfect attendance award, we'd be giving it to Jason from Jaguars United. What up, Jason?
It's funny because if you ask any of my high school teachers, even my college professors, I don't think perfect attendance would be a word they would ever use to describe me. So that means a lot. Thank you.
Well, I think that just shows your dedication to the show and dedication to the Jaguars, man. So
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, you'll really get into things that you love, right?
That's right.
Next up, the Jaguars went on a bit of a losing skid, okay? And then this man went on a last frontier retreat, came back rejuvenated, and now the Jaguars have had 2 wins since he's come back. We have Jordan DeLuga. What up, Jordan?
Yeah, rejuvenated is one way to put it. No doubt about it. But hey, Orlando Magic NBA opening day. They're in a big matchup right now with the Miami Heat, but it's all Duval for the next hour here. I'm fired up for it. Excited to be back.
Yeah, we're excited to be back. Like I said, a couple little Florida events, I guess, going on the last couple of weeks. But hey, we're back. The Jaguars are 2-5. Got a bunch of really stuff to talk about. And of course, got ourselves a matchup coming up this upcoming Sunday. But first, we'll go ahead and talk about a little bit about this Patriots game. Now, I know it was a little bit funky of a game. The Jaguars went down 10-0. And we were literally like, wow, what is going on here? And then all of a sudden, the Jaguars scored 25 unanswered and then just pretty much dominated the game. They ran the ball out at the very end with, Tank Bigsby leading the carries, 100-plus rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on the day for him. You're kind of seeing some of these young guys, really prevail, including like Brian Thomas Jr. and, Ventrell Miller's having a couple good games. So, I guess we'll go to Jordan. We haven't heard from you in a while. I guess, tell us a little bit about, kind of what you thought of, this New England Patriots game. And I guess the Jaguars maybe overall right now, how you're feeling about them.
Man, I think there's so many different ways to look at what the Jaguars are right now. But the bottom line is they're 2-5. And that is not very good. That is way under expectations. Losing the way they did in London to the Bears, maybe the most embarrassing game so far this season. Probably not, though. Probably not.
Yeah, we had a Monday night game, right?
Right. I mean, it's been a bad year, and they have won 2 out of 3. I think there is reasons for optimism. I think there's reasons for pessimism. I think we can get into all that stuff here tonight. So I'm fired up for it to talk about it. And the bottom line is, though, the Jaguars still have an opportunity in front of them to get things back in the right direction. Like, they're by no means out of it, but it's going to take a heck of a run here to get themselves back into contention and to potentially push for a playoff spot.
Yes, let's hear from you, Jason. Let's get some of your overall thoughts.
I mean, glad to have Jordan back on this coast. Maybe he needs to go back away from the East Coast so the Jags build a little momentum. Maybe that's the secret weapon there. I don't know. Throwing it out there.
I was on the East Coast for this past weekend.
Oh, okay.
I was.
You're just a world traveler, dude. I can't keep up with you. It's too hard.
I was in Tennessee. I was actually in Tennessee and Georgia during the game.
Wow. Okay. I remember during the Texans game, you were in the middle of my stream, which is kind of cool to have you. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was fun. I was
think
sitting
I
at
was giving you.
on the
I
pool
think
deck at on the cruise.
so. Was I giving you some much needed play-by-play for the game?
Yeah, Wi-Fi was shoddy to say the least. So being
Yeah.
able to keep up with it via your stream was fantastic.
Yeah, YouTube is pretty good. We went bad Wi-Fi. I don't know about Stream East. Might be a little bit difficult, but yeah, I'm glad I could have you covered.
Yeah, but I mean, I mean, the good news is the Jags offensive line is playing the best they've played in a long time. Trevor Lawrence looks sharp. Evan Ingram's back, and I mean, say what you want, Evan Ingram with this offense is a completely different offense, and Tank Bigsby's running lights out right now. So, if there's ever a time to hit your hardest streak in your schedule, I would probably take it when the offensive line is playing its best. Trevor Lawrence is looking sharp, Evan Ingram's looking good, and Tank Bigsby's looking good. So, at least we have that going for us.
Yeah. No,
I think you could
absolutely.
also say the defensive line is playing their best football of the season right now too.
Yeah, and it also feels like now, like maybe Ryan Nielsen is kind of like when Mike Caldwell, his first year here, like he didn't really know exactly where to play guys on defense. Now it feels like, moving Darnell Savage back up to safety, kind of playing Jarian Jones maybe at the nickel a little more, and like kind of maybe figuring out a little bit more exactly how you want to use your secondary might be a good thing. But yeah, I mean, the Jaguars, they are in a spot. They've won 2 out of the last 3. Now, granted, you could talk about quality of the wins. I mean, the Jaguars always beat the Indianapolis Colts at home, and then they beat up on the worst team in the NFL probably, in the New England Patriots. But now it's like, when you really set your eyes like going forward, the Jaguars have a real test. Okay, they have a real big test coming up. I mean, they have 3 of their next 5 games are against the NFC North and the better teams in the AFC North compared to the Bears. They also have the Eagles, which got flexed out of prime time, which is a little bit embarrassing, but for an old man like me, I don't really mind moving back down to 4:00. And, also they have the Houston Texans. So, I think for the Jaguars really to be fully back in this thing, they had to win 80% of their next. They had to win 4 of their next 5 games. They had to get back to 500. Then from there, you have a little bit of an easier kind of end of the year stretch. You have the Titans a couple times, even though the Titans can be tough. It doesn't matter how bad they are. They're still the Titans, and we still have difficulties with them. You have the Jets. You don't know how they're going to be. The Raiders look like they're pretty bad, and then we have the Colts again. So, yeah, but these next 5 games are going to determine how good we're going to be, I think, honestly. And obviously, we need to be able to come back. So, and I guess when you look ahead, Jason, like after this win, the Jaguars are 2-5. Do you feel any bit of optimism that maybe the Jaguars can kind of climb back in this thing?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, you look at, they've won 2 of their last 3, like you said, regardless of quality of competition. They did. And it's not, Jordan brings up a good point. The offense has kind of been, they're kind of like a slow train that's been building speed, and they're kind of reaching kind of some of their like top performing right now. But the defense, what encouraged me the most about the defense is that they did things that they haven't done. Like for some reason, they stopped blitzing the last few weeks, and now they're blitzing. I mean, we had Devin Lloyd had a sack on a crossfire blitz, and I haven't seen Devin Lloyd blitz through the A gap, I don't think, one time all season. And so it was cool seeing that get home. It's Ryan Nielsen called a different game against the Patriots, and I don't know what inspired him to do that, but he called a different game. It worked out well. Tyson Campbell, he covered a drag route across the middle of the field where the receiver was in pre-snap motion, and like that was something that no defensive back has done all year for us. So I think you're right. We're kind of hitting the stride at the right spot. You think back to 2022. What were we, 2-6 when we went on the run or something like that? And another perk is that the Packers are notoriously played down to their competition. You look back to last year, and the Packers beat the Chiefs in the regular season, and then the very next week went out and lost to the Giants. So you never know. Like the Packers are a good team. They're hard to stop because they spread the ball around a lot. But I'm feeling pretty good about this game. Like there's just something in the air with me. Like something just feels different. I don't know if it's we're coming off of a win, but something just feels different. So I'm feeling good about this game. And, maybe this is the game where the home field advantage comes in. The Packers don't play well in Florida typically. So, I'm optimistic. I am. Until they've mathematically eliminated me out of the playoffs, I'm going to stay up.
So let's hear from you, Jordan. Do you feel any kind of the same optimism as Jason?
So I'm optimistic the Jaguars can play like playoff caliber football over the next 10 weeks? Is that right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not optimistic. I'm not optimistic about the next 4 games because they're all playoff teams, right? In the NFC, really tough teams coming up. And I think that if you want to be optimistic about the Packers game, you say, okay, you got to stop the run, which the Jaguars have done a good job stopping the run. So you stop the run, and then you have to keep finding different ways to be effective against the pass, which the Jaguars haven't done this year a lot. I do think having Tyson Campbell back really helps in that regard, obviously. I think potentially getting Foye Oluokun back would really help in that regard. And then also, as Jason mentioned, Ryan Nielsen dialing some things up a little bit differently could help as well. And I honestly don't know how they're going to consistently stop the Packers. I don't. And the Packers defense is starting to play a little bit better football. They're turning the football over a lot on that side. It's a tough matchup. I mean, the Jaguars are 2-5. The Packers are 5-2. They're a team that's incredibly well coached, especially on the offensive side of the ball by Matt LaFleur, one of the best in the game. In my opinion, as a head coach and a offensive play designer and play caller and play sequencing, all that stuff. So it's not going to be easy by any stretch. Do the Jaguars have a chance? I think they have a chance. And I do think if they beat the Packers, if they get to 3-5, I think then you're really cooking. But if they fall to 2-6, that's going to be tough to climb back from.
Yeah.
Really tough. When you have the Eagles, Vikings, and Lions next up.
And that's the unfortunate thing about this team is like we got ourselves in a very, very big hole. Starting off 0-4 did you absolutely no favors. And I mean, you can just look at the statistics of teams that even start off 0-2, nevertheless 0-3, and then we go 0-4 about teams actually turn around and make the playoffs. I mean, it's tough. So yeah, I mean, I even put this on Twitter. Like, I'm not really going to take the Jaguars seriously until they get back to 500. And right now, like, you got a really, really tough stretch of games. And honestly, asking any team in the NFL to win 4 out of their next 5 games is really tough for anybody. But, you got to kind of take it game by game. I do worry about the Packers because, man, they're just so well coached. And they've been running through the AFC South. I mean, they're 3-0 against the AFC South right now. And 2 of those games, Malik Willis was starting at quarterback. And obviously, they just beat the top team in the AFC South and the Houston Texans. It just seems like LaFleur and their coaching staff, they just put in such good game plans. Now, granted, like, we'll see how much they can pound the rock. The Jaguars have been pretty good at stopping the run, I think, over the course of the year. But, yeah, man, I always say that, like, when your trenches are good, it's going to give you a really good opportunity. And right now, the Jaguars' offensive line has been really good. Knock on wood, it hasn't been very injured. The only injury that happened was Cam Robinson, and Walker Little came back in and played a lot better than Cam Robinson, and like we have some players playing at pretty good levels. Ezra Cleveland has been pretty good. So, the offensive line, it feels like it's good. Like we know that Trevor Lawrence is at least being protected. He's not like over the course of the first few weeks, Trevor Lawrence was getting dropped back and hit immediately. That's not happening anymore. And you're kind of seeing it turn around where Trevor Lawrence is now, wheeling and dealing, like 75% completion percentage, I think, over the last like 3 games. And, he's able to have time and hit Brian Thomas Jr. on a deep ball. See, I feel like Brian Thomas Jr. always comes down with these deep balls. But yeah, so you have the O-line playing well. You have the defensive line hopefully shaping out, playing a little bit better. Like, it feels like now, like once you get past the whole, like, Eric Armstead probably is not an edge. I think it sets you up in a lot better position. It's still weird, the whole Mason Smith thing. The Jaguars trade away Roy Robertson Harris. So you trade away some depth, and still your second round pick is a healthy scratch on game day. That is still something that is a little bit concerning. Don't really know what's going on there. I mean, you'd at least like him, active. And, even if he's not getting all that much plays, just get him in a rotation because, I don't think you're getting any better just sitting on the bench, not really doing anything. But yeah, like the Jaguars, they have themselves backed up in a corner where, like, you messed around early, went 0-4, then now you have to go on a run. And this is honestly, when you look back on it, we all thought the Miami, the Cleveland Brown, that whole stretch was the toughest part of the season. Now this is the real tough part of the season. I mean, the Bears or the Packers 5-2. You have I think the Lions and Vikings only have a loss each, and you have the Eagles in Philadelphia. That's going to be a tough game. So yeah, you got to take it game by game, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I know I'll be out here rooting for the team to win every Sunday, and we can kind of see, I guess, where we go from there.
What I want to get y'all's thoughts on like, and one thing I guess I didn't bring up is like the linebacker play has really been elevated the last couple of weeks. I was tough on Devin Lloyd. I mean, and again, and I'll admit to this, I'm tough on guys when they're bad, but then I try to give them praise when they're good. I feel like that's the only fair thing to do. I was tough on the offensive line. They looked really good on that deep shot to Brian Thomas Jr. That wasn't a typical max protect that we see when the Jaguars try to take those deep shots. That was a traditional protection scheme, and the offensive line held up. And so I gave them credit, and they've been playing well. They've been run blocking well. But Devin Lloyd, I think, had his best game of the year last week. And I know it was against the Patriots, but it was the way he filled the gaps against the run. It was something I hadn't seen him do all year. So with him and Miller and Aluakon coming back, now it's not just the front four that are maybe playing better. It's the front seven. And now when your front seven are playing better, now you might have something. So do you guys think that, do you expect Lloyd to keep up this level of play, or do you think this was like they played the Patriots one hit wonder kind of thing?
It's a tough one. He's been inconsistent throughout his career in coverage. I think he's been a really good run defender throughout his career. Bottom line, I think he has.
I mean, I've seen him get lost in the wash and hit the wrong gap. So I mean, I'm not gonna say he looked. But
overall, better. For the most part, he fills really well against the run. Comes downhill very well. Yes, he gets lost at times. Every linebacker does. I think it gets magnified because he was a first-round pick, because the Jaguars traded up for him. Fans need someone to, kind of glom onto and get angry about, and it's been Devin Lloyd this year. Like every fan I've seen interacting with each other, or even a lot of media folks, they're saying Devin Lloyd's the worst player on the field. And that's simply just not even close to true, in my opinion. I think he did play good football this past week. I think Ventrell Miller's been playing really good football downhill against the run. Ventrell Miller, as exciting as he is, as physical as he can play and instinctive, I mean, he's not a good coverage player either.
He's terrible in
coverage.
He's
horrible in coverage, and no one talks about that.
Yeah.
Right? So I do think there's a bit of a question mark in coverage outside of Foye Oluokun at the linebacker position. If Devin Lloyd plays a lot in this game, which I expect him to, and plays well, I think you can sit here and say that he's going to be in for a good stretch of football, kind of, down the stretch for the Jaguars. If he struggles against the Packers, I think you're going to see just more up and down. Yeah. This is such a crazy game for me, because it's like, to me, it is the kind of, it could be the turning point, or it could just be the Jaguars are going to be inconsistent for the rest of the year.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, we got ourselves in a must-win game, that's for sure. And I guess with Devin Lloyd, I know for me, I think I need to see more consistency. I really thought it was a bad look, and I know it was all around Twitter, just kind of him dogging it when, he could have ran out there and made the tackle, it felt like, on Cole Kmet against the Bears.
Everyone was dogging it on that play.
Yeah, I know. Everyone was kind of dogging it. It's just, man, like I don't know. I just want to see more leadership. Like Foye Oluokun is down. Devin Lloyd, step up and be that dude. I know maybe you don't have that personality, and that's one thing about Foye Oluokun. It's just like every week you feel like you know what you're getting, and he always comes out prepared. And I don't know with Devin Lloyd if it's just, if he's just not, because he can physically do everything a linebacker can do. I mean, he has the ability to cover. He has the ability to stop the run. It's just, does he process plays well enough? Is he, smart enough around the football? Like, I just don't see him. It just feels like I don't see him around the football enough when it comes to getting tackles for losses, but also, PBUs on the next play against tight ends. So I don't know. I think he's been a little bit disappointing, but I know the Jaguars will keep him in there, and, he'll be a part of the massive defensive rotation that goes on, all over the field between the defensive line and the linebackers. So I don't know. I got to see, I think, a little more consistency from me, but I think he'll definitely get his opportunities. Real quick, do want to get through a few super chats. Tech in My World says, congrats on being UC at Jaguar. Oh, well, I don't know if you guys saw. If you guys follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I have been keeping a secret. I have a baby boy coming in March. But please, you don't need to call me UCF Jaguar. Okay, that's my father's name. Okay, I'm UCF Jaguar. He'll be UCF Sunwar. Okay, we'll call him that.
What about
But
UCF Daddy War?
Daddy War?
How do you feel about that?
My son can call me daddy, not anybody else. Okay. But yeah, shout out to the Garf. He has a $5 donation. He says, I think you guys are a little down on the team. The roster is better than the record, especially with Foye, Tyson, and Dewey back. I think they're in. Yeah, I mean, it's not. I think
Foye and Dewey aren't officially back. They're
Yeah.
returning to practice. Don't know if they're going to play this weekend. Doug Pederson said chances are good today, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Wait, you're telling me if Doug Pederson says something that doesn't mean anything? That's crazy. He's usually a man of his
the
word.
rumor.
That's wild.
the rumor.
That's
Well,
wild.
I mean,
mean,
he said they got to see how they progress this week. I think it was a reasonable answer.
It's just,
But
I don't
yeah.
think we're down on the roster. It's like we have ourselves in a situation where you have to go 7-3 to have a 9-8 record.
Yeah,
It's the
7-3 or
situation that we're
8-2.
in. It's a situation, and 7-3 might not even get you into the playoffs. You know what I mean? So
Right.
realistically, you probably have to go 8-2 down the stretch. I mean, that's tough for any team to do, man. So
to be fair, the 6th and 7th team right now in the playoffs in the AFC only have 4 wins. So
Yeah.
Right.
just for some context, they're only technically 2 games out of 6th and 7th.
and the AFC doesn't
Right.
feel great right now. I mean, the Colts are in the playoffs right now.
Yeah,
and,
the
like,
Colts are the 7th seed right now. So
the
and you
Colts,
get
I
to
think,
play
are
them again.
lousy.
And
I
we
don't
have
think
the
the Colts are any
tiebreaker.
good.
We have the tiebreaker, so it's 1.5 on the Colts.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you beat
maybe.
them again.
We will.
Final week in Indy. You never know what either team's going to look like. So we got
The
we got a
Colts,
good match.
I agree. Like when they play the Jags, they just Gus Bradley's defense just cannot stack up with what the Jaguars do offensively with Trevor Lawrence and company.
Yeah.
When they play other teams, they play a lot better. I mean, they've won 4 games for a reason.
They held
It's
the
double
Packers.
what the Jaguars have done.
They held the Packers to 16.
Yeah, and they beat the Bears. They held the Bears to under 20 points. So it's one of those things where it's a matchup league, and the Colts do not match up with the Jaguars.
But also, they got so much luck with their schedule. When you look at it, like they played the Dolphins when the Dolphins are so far down. They played the Bears when the Bears weren't anything. They played the Packers with Malik Willis. I know they lost to them, but man, when you look at the Jaguars schedule, man, we really got, I think, burned in a few. Like we could have played the Dolphins any other week, okay? But we played them week 1 when they had at least a semblance of a team. But whatever.
Yeah, you can say that, but you can also say the Jaguars should have beat them, and they
They
didn't,
should've.
and that's
They
on
should've.
them.
Yeah. A lot of wouldas and couldas with this team, unfortunately, but got us to where we are right now.
That's on them. They should have won that game.
No, that's the thing about the Jaguars is like I think any team can hang around with these teams, but the good teams finish. And we invented ways to lose that game. I mean, ETN fumbling into the end zone the way he did, then scoring an 80-yard touchdown the next play, and then just all the gas got let out of this team. Yeah, it's just
And Doug,
it's unfortunate.
Doug just, we're just going to run the ball.
Yeah. Which is
Again,
crazy.
you can
to me.
do that against the Patriots. You can't do that against the Dolphins.
Against the 2024 Patriots, not the 2017 Patriots, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Well,
That's
so
great.
yeah, we don't need to go back to that.
Did y'all see that former Jaguar great coach Robert Saleh has joined the Packers coaching staff?
Has he?
Absolutely.
I know him and LaFleur are friends.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah. Yep. He was at practice today, helping with the offense, is what LaFleur said.
Oh yeah.
That's what he said.
Dude, he's gonna get him some interviews, man. Your next offensive analyst. All right, so get to call him Gary, who's been a member for 39 months. It's a lot of months. It's over 3 years. He says, "I hate the running clock in the third quarter. Make some plays, build some chemistry." Yeah, I mean, if they're just gonna run it out to win the game, I don't mind so much. But yeah, I do feel you. I kind of
what I hate?
What's that?
Not going up 3 possessions.
Yeah, that's stupid, man.
Ridiculous.
That was I just don't understand Doug sometimes in these moments.
Okay,
Like-
wait. Listen, I just want to play contrarian for a second. Okay.
I'm sure you do.
Okay. I found myself looking, okay, and again, and maybe I'm a little more like Doug Pederson and other people, but like I found myself, the momentum the Jags had running the ball, they were getting yards on the ground at will. they're in a 4th and 1 situation, and you got the entire offense, including Trevor Lawrence, doing this, like, go for it, go for it, go for it. If I'm a coach and I'm a player's coach and my players all want to go for it and we're getting the ball, like, let's go just like seal the game right there. And I know 3 touchdowns or 3 scores would have sealed the game, but like, how do you look at your offense that's on the field and just be like, no, we're not going for it? Like, does that show less? Does that kind of take away like any faith you have in the offense if you look at them and
it
say,
shows strategy. It shows that you can manage a damn game. I know that this is a player-run team. Doug Pederson says that. You have got to be able to make common sense decisions. And what happened when they didn't get it? The Patriots drove down the field and scored, made it a game.
Is there any repercussions down the road in other games when you're like, like our coach doesn't trust us to pick up a yard? Like, is there any mental repercussions or psychological?
It's not about
repercussions?
trust. It's about playing strategically and coaching strategically. When you have an opportunity to go up 3 possessions late in the game, you do it. Bottom line.
I also think it's
a chip shot.
And I also think once you go out there, once you're on the sidelines and defense gets back out there, it's like, yeah, I mean, heat of the moment, obviously it stinks, but then like, you know, it's different. If the Jaguars were up 13 and you decided to go for it, I think that's a little bit different because a field goal, it's still 2 possession. But
yes,
when you're up 15,
absolutely.
you can kick it and make it 3 possession. You're up 18, and there's no way the Patriots are going to be able to do anything from there. Then just with the way the Jaguars have just pissed away games, and not even pissed away games, like just let teams back into it. Like the Indianapolis Colts had no business getting back into that game a couple weeks ago, and it kept going up. They went up 14, then they were only up 7, and then they tied the ball game. Like, don't give these teams these opportunities. And I know, like, it never really felt in doubt. Like, I never really felt worried. Like when they didn't get it, I wasn't really scared we're going to lose the game. But still, it's like, I don't know, just get the points.
Had Cam Little miss the field goal, or they let someone through and the kick gets blocked, we're all sitting here saying the opposite. We're all sitting here saying, why didn't you run the ball? You ran the ball all game on him. Go get a yard and seal the game. Like, it just
it's about decision making. It's not about the result. It's about the process of that decision, in my opinion. If Cam Little misses the kick, you know what? Egg on your face. It is what it is. He's going to make that kick over 95% of the time. You are not going to convert that 4th down 95% of the time. And even if you do, that doesn't give you the points. That just gives you the opportunity to try to score points, right?
No, that's true. That's true. I just, for me, it's hard if I'm a player's coach to look at my offense and say, let's go. Everyone's saying, let's go. You have momentum. You're running the ball. It's hard for me to be like, no, sorry, I'm trumping you here, and we're going to kick the field goal. I don't trust you guys to get this yard.
But also, has that ever worked out this year, though? Him doing these stupid, like, 4th down, not going for point. It really hasn't worked for us this year.
No, it hasn't.
And just as bad, in my opinion, I know Jason disagreed with this one, the Houston game. Not taking the points if you would have taken the points in that situation in the 4th quarter, you would have taken the 3 points. Again, you're a team that struggles in these types of situations. If you would have taken the 3 points, then you would have only needed a field goal to win the game on the final drive.
I just feel like it's having to score a touchdown here in hindsight.
I didn't hindsight it. I said it at the moment. I said kick the field goal right now. It's not hindsight. It's about the process and the decision making.
But if they would have picked up the 1 yard in either game, it's a nothing burger, and no one's even talking about it. And so,
yeah, but you're talking about if. I'm talking about in the moment. You have opportunities to put your team in a strategically better position than they would be otherwise, and you're not doing it. I have a big problem with that.
And also, while we are talking, if we do go for it on 4th and 1, like, dude, Trevor Lawrence's QB sneak is like, I don't think he's missed that yet. Like,
I mean, what are we doing a quarterback draw and on the goal line? Sneak it.
Like, that needs to be the move now. Just quarterbacks, like 4th and 1. Trevor's always picking up the 1 on quarterback sneaks. If you're going to do that play until it fails, okay?
And you can sit here and say, oh, well, you can't do that every single time. Guess what the Patriots did every single time with Tom Brady?
Yeah. So do the Colts with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, we're comparing Tom Brady and Peyton Manning to Trevor Lawrence. Come on.
We're comparing quarterback sneaks to them.
Yeah, but like
Quarterback
these,
sneaks.
yeah,
Just
but these
master
guys,
that,
like
and you're done.
these guys could get to the line and get their guys to the line, and everyone, and they've probably told their linemen how to block it perfectly. Trevor Lawrence isn't there yet. He's 25, right? So I mean,
Get there.
I agree.
Get there,
I
Trevor.
agree.
Get there.
I agree. I
The
agree with that.
protection's good. You got a big
And-
weapon in BTJ.
It's just like, what are we
Gabe
doing?
Davis catches the ball sometimes.
I mean, I get.
Listen.
Listen, I'm not saying your point is not valid. Like I'm not. Like don't hear. Like, and in the moment, I'm probably kicking the field goal too. I just like don't think it's as absurd decision as people have made it out to be. Like I said, when you're seeing all your offensive players, all 11 being like, we got this, let's go. At some point, you got to put your faith in your team, because if you're at that point, they were 1-5. Let's go. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, and what happened?
They didn't get it.
It's just, I think if it's a trend of like, we keep going for it and it keeps paying off for us, but the Jags are kind of in a situation where they keep just blowing these games and shooting themselves in the foot and allowing teams back into it. And it just felt like that was another chance there, but whatever. We'll move on. Shane says Baselli for MVP. I think he means EVP, which there was a little bit of a rumor going on with that, but we'll see.
Or MVP. Or MVP.
Or MVP.
He's my MVP.
I mean, I think he's the MVP of honestly Jaguars talk. I love hearing him on 1010XL. I'll just say that.
At freaking 7:30 in the morning. Who the hell is up at 7:30 in the morning?
Not
me.
People
I know,
with
Jason. We
children.
know that you're in bed until 11 a.m. Okay, we know you stay up till 2 a.m. twitching or whatever on your video games, but I'm up. Okay. But yeah. All right, we got Steven with a $5 donation. That's for cornerback help. Any chance we would trade for Trevin Diggs from the Cowboys? Apparently, they need a running back. ETN ? I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe this is a blanket statement. Trade deadline's coming up. We can go over this a little bit. Do you guys think that the Jaguars are buyers at any point? Any kind of sellers? Or
Jordan, you answer this. I gotta get a refill. Jordan, you answer this.
No, I don't think they're buyers.
I don't think they're buyers. I honestly don't think
Look,
that
they had opportunities all offseason to go get a veteran corner to try to help them out.
Yeah.
To try to compete with Ronald Darby to start, or to straight up be the starter and have Ronald Darby be your third guy. I said they should do that all offseason. They didn't do it. I don't see them doing it now.
And
They
I
got
also
Tyson
think
Campbell
that,
back. They're going to sit here and say, Tyson Campbell's back. We're good.
yeah. And I also think that logically, like if Trent Baalke actually looks at this team, like I don't think there's any way that he would let Trent Baalke make a trade, especially if like he is potentially going to be on his way out, because you don't want to like what do you need to train for a corner? But I could see them maybe being sellers on like maybe an ETN or just maybe a player they just kind of like Roy Robertson Harris, a guy that just kind of wanted to get rid of, maybe help some salary cap going forward. But I don't think the Jaguars are going to be buyers at any point. And if they sell, they might sell. I mean, I think Travis Etienne could definitely be a selling piece, especially when you potentially look at, I mean, he has a 5th-year option next year, which is honestly, I don't know what the number is, but it's 100% against the cap. So like, maybe they want to relieve that, but I also don't think the GM's going to be in place next year. So I don't know. What about you, Jason? You think the Jaguars
I think that's a bold statement. Just to say that.
Which one?
That the GM's not going to be in place next year.
I don't think he'll be in place. I don't.
I hope you're right.
I mean, it depends on what happens here the next few weeks. I know that's like a conditional answer, and I didn't hear Jordan's answer, but I'm pretty sure it was no. But it's if you lose the next 2 games, could they move ETN, Cam Robinson, even to maybe a Parker Washington? Maybe. But if they win 1 or 2, I don't think they're doing it. I think the Roy Robertson Harris was a situation where he wanted to get out of Jacksonville. I really do. When you look at the way they treated him in the preseason with playing him into the last preseason game in the second half and took his captainship away, I think that's a situation where that was kind of a no-brainer, and even Baalke could have made that move. Personally, I think if they do make the decision to not let Baalke make any more moves, I think the move still could be made, because I think Shad Khan is just going to turn everything over to Tony Khan for the rest of the year. It is what it is. I know some people don't. I just have a feeling that Tony Khan is a little more involved than people think. I have no source on that at all, but like when you look at things like how else do you look at this roster and say it's the best roster we've ever had, unless your son's in your ear being like, this is the best roster we've ever had. I think he's very involved with this team. That could be a reason why Balky hasn't gotten the flack that he's gotten. I don't know. It's all speculation, conspiracy theory. But if we do lose the next 2 games, I think Cam Robinson, Parker Washington, and ETN could be guys that get moved for contract reasons. And
even Parker Washington, you think could be moved?
Yeah, I think so, because if you move, not Parker Washington, Christian Kirk.
Okay, I'm about to say.
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, I don't see Parker Washington.
Yeah, come on.
Christian
Our
Kirk
kick
definitely.
returner, the only guy scoring points on special teams. Good thing we signed Devin Duvernay. Good signing there. Good signing.
Parker Washington costs $10 and he's under contract for the next 2 years, cheap labor. I got you.
I meant Christian Kirk. Yeah. But I mean, those 3 guys, and then people have thrown out Cisco, but I don't know if he has any value to any other team. But he's a guy whose contract's coming up. But no, I think they actually do like this roster. And if they can get to 6-7 wins, I think they just kind of keep what they have and try to add to it.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like, I know.
You mean 6 to 7 wins this year?
Yeah.
Did they just stand pat?
I mean, I don't think they blow up. I don't think they blow it up at 6 or 7
wins. When is the
wins.
trade deadline? Like next week?
It's in 2 weeks.
November 5th.
Yeah.
Remember the 5th of November.
We basically have 2 games before it.
Okay, yeah. I know Jordan was talking about kind of a bold take, saying that I think Balky will be gone. I just think that this is a playoff mandate, and we talked about this earlier. It's going to take at worst 7-3 to get into the playoffs, and most likely 8-2 down the stretch. It's just I don't see it happening. And yeah, I think if you go 8-9, miss the playoffs, I think you clean house. I think everybody's new in here, everybody's fresh. Hopefully, I know we talked about everyone's talking about Tony Boselli as EVP. I don't even necessarily need him as EVP. I would definitely like him to help out when it comes to just the hiring process and kind of getting the right people in place, because I don't think anybody wants the Jaguars to be more successful than him. Just bring in someone who actually cares about the Jaguars to kind of do these things. Because I mean, you can hire any MVP, Rick Spielman, whatever. I mean, they're not going to care until they're not going to care about the Jaguars until you actually give them money. And when you look back on a Tom Coughlin situation, honestly, like he should have been in a situation where kind of like, when you have a new restaurant opening up, you bring in like management to kind of get things going, get the right people in place, and they're out of there. Probably should have been how Tom Coughlin handled things with him. But yeah, I mean, I just think that I think that you clean. I mean, I think that you clean house yesterday. But yeah, I definitely think Doug Pederson's gone. I hope to God that Trent Baalke's gone. I just can't imagine the guy gets a 3rd head coach in his tenure. But yeah, he positions himself to be able to be in these spots. But yeah, I just I'm liking what the Detroit Lions are doing. I'm trying to pick off of that tree, and yeah, so we'll just have to see. I think that Detroit Lions game is going to be very important for us in a few weeks as a showcase on, hey, this is what Trevor Lawrence can do. Ben Johnson, you want to come on down here and turn this team around?
Jordan, what do you think? Do you think if the Jags go 8-9, they fire Baalke and Pederson?
I hope so.
But do you think they will?
I think if they do, it will not. The hirings will not be 100% clean slate. I think that.
What do you mean by that? Come on, expound on it. Expound on it.
Shad Khan has literally never cleaned house. Never.
He cleaned house once, right? After Malarkey?
Yeah, Malarkey.
Okay.
Yeah, gotcha.
I don't think he's going to do it.
Don't spew non-facts over here, okay?
I don't think he's going to do it.
Dude, so you think Baalke might be gone, but Ethan Waugh is all of a sudden the GM?
Yeah, would not surprise me.
God, you can't do that, bro.
Would not surprise me. Look, until he fires Trent Baalke, I'm not going to believe it's going to happen. Until it happens, I'm not going to believe it.
You see, I feel like he's smarter than that, right? I just feel like he's got to watch his team and be frustrated as me when we suck, okay? I got to hope that he feels some of what I'm feeling. I mean,
I'm sure he does, but what he's feeling could be misplaced. The blame could be misplaced. because it certainly already has been.
God, I just never seen a billionaire get manipulated the way he does. Like, man, I don't know. I'm just gonna hope better from him.
I'm telling you guys, I know this is conspiracy theory. I think Tony Khan's running this team, dude. I think he is. What does Shad Khan know about football? Nothing. All he knows how to do is make money. Tony Khan's in here, probably pulling all the strings, making all the decisions. I'm telling you, that's what's happening. I mean, he's got a high ranking position with the team. He manages the soccer club overseas. He's built a wrestling business. Shad Khan's probably like, Tony, this is your thing. Shad Khan's got bigger fish to fry than the Jags. I don't know. I mean, that's just my conspiracy theory. I think it's something to it though.
Yeah,
I know he's involved. He is involved. I don't know if I would say he's making decisions like outside of undrafted free agency.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think if there's anyone doing undrafted free agency, it's Trent Baalke. And I think Tony
I know Tony Khan is involved with the undrafted free agents. Like Trey Herndon was his guy. He's brought in several guys. He has this analytics model where he brings in undrafted free agents.
Yeah, I think he's actually on record like he's the undrafted free agent guy, but
yeah,
I don't know. But we'll move on. I do want to look. We're 41 minutes into this. I do want to go with a quick shout out, guys. Go follow Jordan DeLugo and Jason. I got their YouTube channels down below, guys. They post content like crazy. You know, Jordan's out here. I think you still posting daily content, Jordan.
Absolutely.
And Jason's always doing the live streams. With us not doing Club Jaguar last week, he went on his channel and did a live stream over there. So if you guys are over here at 8:30 and you're like, what the hell? Jason's probably live on his channel, okay? He's gonna corral all the views over there. So listen,
yeah. I'm a strategist, okay? I'm a strategist. I know what I'm doing.
He knows how to work that YouTube algorithm. But yeah, shout out to these guys, man. Definitely get them subscribe. And also, guys, we're gonna go ahead and go into BetUS. We're gonna get into some odds over here, okay? So we have a upcoming game this upcoming week against the Green Bay Packers, as we all know. Let me go ahead and get the right screen. And have you guys looked at these lines? You guys know where the Jaguars are at right now? Take a guess. Okay.
4.5.
4.5. What about you, Jason?
I have not looked. The Jags get 3 points for being at home. They're probably 6. Vegas probably wants the hook. I'm gonna say 3.5.
So right now the Jaguars are 4-point underdogs at home. So you guys are right on it. Which I think yesterday, I don't know. I think they were like 5.5-point underdogs yesterday. So I think it shifted a little bit. So yeah, we're definitely a big opportunity here. The Jaguars are 2-5. The Packers are 5-2. You know, like we said earlier, like the Jaguars had to go bare minimum like 7-3 to be able to make the playoffs. And this is a start. If you can get to beat Green Bay Packers, that's a big time statement game. The Jaguars, like I said, 4-point underdogs. The over/under is at 49 points. So we'll have to see. So we'll go ahead and go around the table. You know, I like to get people's takes, and I like to post reels on this on the Instagram. So we'll start with Jordan. Give us your thoughts on this line at Jaguars 4-point underdogs and the over/under at 49, and also straight up.
I'm surprised the line's not bigger.
Well, they get the 3 points for being at home.
Yeah. I'll take the Packers.
Against the spread?
Points. Yep. What is it? Did you say 50?
49.
Yeah, I'll take over. What else we got?
I guess just the against the spread straight up and over under.
So who wins?
Yeah, Packers.
Okay. So Jordan usually,
you know, I think that the Packers offense schematically and from a talent standpoint is going to run laps around the Jaguars in coverage. And their only chance is, again, if they're able to stop the run and Ryan Nielsen somehow gets back into his bag that he showed in Atlanta. He hasn't done that much this year. He did it last week against the Patriots. That's the Patriots. That's not the Packers. And then offensively, I haven't seen them stack games. Trevor Lawrence has stacked games. He played very well against the Bears. What happened around him? Receivers dropped 4 touchdown passes, fumbled the ball like crazy. So until I see multiple weeks in a row, I'm not going to pick the Jaguars to really stick in a game against the Packers, who are one of the better teams in the NFL.
All right. So Jordan has spoken. Not the most optimistic right now, which I'll have a talk with him after, guys. Don't really like to bring all that negative. No, I'm just joking. But I'll go next because Jason's like the man at this stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna let him go last because I'll just cheat off of him. I'll copy his predictions down. I'll pass them off on my own. So I think with this one, I think that this is potential trap game for the Packers. I'm not going to take the Jaguars to win. I do think that the Packers will win this one straight up, but I think there's a game where the Packers might go, up, maybe be up like 10 points in the fourth quarter. The Jaguars were able to get a touchdown to bring it to 3, and then the Packers maybe just are able to run it out and sit on it and win the game, which would mean that the Jaguars lose by 3, which means that the Jaguars would cover. And I'll go ahead and go over on the 49 points. So that's what I got. Jason, we'll go to the money man Jason next.
I like Dalton. I like all of those picks there. My head tells me that those were the picks I would take as well. You can hedge your bets on the over if the Packers blow us out, because if they do, then you hit the over. I can see it being a 3-point game because it's the NFL. You never know what's going to happen. But for me and for my picks, here's what I'm taking. I'm taking the Jags cover the 4 points. The Jags win the game outright, and the game hits the under. That's what I'm saying right there.
Wow.
So the Jags defense stops the run, and Ryan Nielsen gets in his bag.
Or the Jags control the clock on the ground, hold the time of possession. Jordan Love throws a pick or 2 like he does every game, and we end up holding the ball with Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne both back, and we end up having time of possession battle win with the turnover battle win, and we end up winning the game.
Yeah. Etienne is still day-to-day, by the way. Just
don't need him. We got my boy D'Ernest. We don't need him.
No, I'm with you. I'm not saying that, but I'm just updating the folks.
No, it's all good. No, but yeah, I'm going. Yeah. I'm going against I know I'm going against what everyone thinks, but I got a gut feeling about this one. Got a gut feeling.
God, I hope you're right.
So with that said, I'm gonna actually bet the Jaguars against the spread on this one. I'll put 20. I'll put 20 on it. Okay. We'll see next week if we win. We do actually pretty good on this channel when it comes to these bets. So yeah, we're going ahead and confirm this one. So yeah, we got this one locked in. By the way, guys, on BetUS, you can do a whole lot of cool stuff. Look, we can even hit politics. So real quick, going to go around the table, going to ask everyone who they're voting for. No, but yeah, we can actually look at the political lines here. Yeah, we got Kamala Harris plus 160, Donald Trump minus 185. So that's a funny one. You can bet horse racing, NASCAR, cricket, darts. We can see some dart lines here. Let's see, dart game
is professional arm wrestling.
You know what?
An option.
Gabriel Clemens plus 183.
Oh, he's a massive underdog.
Put $5 on this one.
Bad
Why
move.
not?
Bad move.
Why not? I'm gonna do that because I can. I've got like $2,000 in my account. Okay, I got so much money, I don't know what to do with it. Okay, so I'm gonna bet on darts. You bet all kinds of stuff. There's also casino games here. There's all kinds of stuff, guys. BetUS.
Buy diapers, bro.
Yeah.
Buy
exactly.
diapers.
I got diapers coming. I got diapers coming up. Okay, come in March. I got some dirty diapers to change because
formula.
I'm getting the sun on the way. So yeah, guys, shout out to BetUS.
Oh, geez.
Promo code YouTube150 is going to you 150% deposit bonus. It's good stuff. So with that said, appreciate them. We're gonna go back into the show. Gonna change a view over here. Not like that. Like this. There we go.
Okay,
we're on the right spot.
Real quick. One positive to being able to bet on the elections is like you can bet for the person that you're not voting for to win the election, and then you come out no matter what a winner. Either your person you voted for wins or you win money. Just a little gambler's little side note right there.
That is true. So with that said, who are you betting on?
You could also bet against the Jaguars every week.
That's true. That's true. It's hedging your bets. It's hedging your bets. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I know a lot of people. I never really adopted that philosophy. I don't know. I just like if my team wins, I don't want to lose money. You know what I mean?
Well, they
I
say never bet on your team. They say never bet on your team. That's what they say.
yeah, that's definitely true. That's why I don't even like really adopting like when it comes to like fantasy players. I don't really like drafting players on the Jaguars because I feel like it's so skewed my belief on them and everything. And I don't know. I just try to keep them off. That's just me though. I try not to load up on it. So yeah, we got some I guess we can ahead and go into the injury report. So I know Cam Robinson is in a concussion protocol. Jordan, are you, I guess when it comes to that, were you pretty impressed with how Walker Little played? And if healthy, would you continue to trot Cam Robinson out there?
I've been on the Walker Little bus for a long time. I like the way he plays the game. I think he's more consistent than Cam. What's more important is what the Jaguars will do, and if Cam's healthy, he's going to play. I'd be shocked, but he did not practice. He is in concussion protocol. I don't think he's going to play this week. Doug Pederson didn't sound super optimistic. Maybe he can. We've seen guys get the concussion, get through the protocol within
Josh
a week.
Allen.
We've seen that. But
does he wear the Guardian cap? Does he wear the Guardian cap is the question.
I'm gonna if we could place a bet on BetUS on this one, it would be a no for me. No Guardian.
It would be a no. I would say
Under
yes
on
to
the
a Guardian
Guardian
cap if he plays. I would say yes to a Guardian cap if he plays.
So everybody else that's injured, limited. Cam Robinson was the only DNP today. So Chance Foye is back. Chance Dewey's back. Chance Travis Etienne can play. Right. So that's some good news there overall. For the Packers, DNPs today, Corey Ballantyne, Elton Jenkins, which would be big. He has a glute. Josh Myers, another one that would be pretty big with a wrist. And Quay Walker, who is also in the concussion protocol, one of their starting linebackers. So they've got some injuries of their own to deal with and get figured out here with this Week 8 matchup.
Not so Quay Walker leads the Packers in tackles. So that would be, I mean, even if he's like not at full strength, that would be amazing. I liked the glute mention. I know Dalton's got a couple glutes. That's for damn sure. I know I know he's been working on that dad bod. That's
I could show him off right now if you guys want.
But I mean, Jordan's right. I mean, I kind of disagree with Jordan here. I know it's surprising. I think Walker Little played amazing last week, but for me, Walker Little has been very inconsistent for me. And Cam Robinson isn't always great, but he's got a nastiness to him that I really like, especially when he gets out in space on screens, when he gets into run blocking and is able to attack the second level. I do like that. Does he miss the occasional pass protection? Yeah, but we were just talking about how good Ezra Cleveland is, and Ezra Cleveland had 2 blown pass protections against the Bears that got Trevor Lawrence sacked. So you kind of give that up sometimes. I think just Cam Robinson overall, not only do I think he's a better tackle, but I think universally across the league, people think Cam Robinson's a better tackle than Walker Little. I want Walker Little to grow into his own, but unfortunately, to your question, Dalton, if everyone's healthy and all things considered, Walker Little just has gotten a lot of opportunities, and I think it's too little too late for him to kind of be like, okay, I'm a solid left tackle. I mean, he would have to just very much impress me for the rest of this season for me to want to even extend him at a starter level pay and not want to bring in a tackle to supplement the offensive line. So,
you see, I disagree with you. I don't think that he's gotten enough opportunities at left tackle. He's gotten opportunities at right tackle. He's gotten opportunities at left guard. But like whenever Cam Robinson comes back from whether he's suspended or whether he's injured, like he gets booted out of that spot and Cam Robinson's back in there. So I don't know. I
thought he played really well at left tackle to start the year last year. And I thought he played really well yesterday or Sunday.
Yeah. And then last year, unfortunately, right when he moved into left guard, that very same game he got hurt. And, he was a Jaguars left tackle during the playoff run in 2022. I don't know. I feel like he wants to get the hell out of here. First of all, like the Jaguars, I think have used him out of place. He's not a right tackle. He's not a left guard. He's a left tackle, and they just haven't. I don't think they've given him enough opportunity there. I know if I'm the Jaguars, it's probably a moot point because we all know when Cam Robinson's back, that's his spot. But I keep playing a hot hand. You know, I let Walker Little play himself out of it. I let him have a bad game and then maybe swing Cam Robinson back in there. But yeah, it's a moot point. We all know that that's Cam Robinson's spot and they don't like to give it up. So yeah, we also have Tyson Campbell coming back from injury. I like that he was on a little bit of a snap count. You know, it felt like last year, you know, against the 49ers, like they forced him back and, you know, he was chasing guys all game and he got kind of like re-hurt. So I guess, Jason, what did you see out of Tyson Campbell last game?
I mean, I already kind of mentioned the play where I was very impressed. I think it was Boutte, or how you pronounce it. He chased him across the middle of the field on a drag route. The throw was late from Drake May, and he had a chance to intercept it, and he dropped the interception. But I was more impressed with his ability to stay on the hip on that drag route. For me, the big thing with Tyson Campbell is not his ability to play the position. It's his ability to stay healthy. And that's just my biggest issue with him. And like, I hate that that's it, but we can point at players all across the NFL, across all teams that are amazing when they're on the field. They just can't stay on the field. And so no indictment on him as a player, but being on the field is the most important thing you can do. And Tyson Campbell has yet to show he can stay on the field. And you're right, he was on a snap count, but when he's off the snap count, what happens? And again, if he comes out and balls out and stays healthy, I'd be the happiest person on earth. I just haven't seen it yet. So it's hard for me to be like, oh, I'm pumped about it. But in the limited action he got, like I said, I mean, he's a huge upgrade from Darby and Monteric Brown. I mean, there's just no getting around that. I mean, Darby's got his skill set. Monteric Brown's got his skill set, but they're not all things all the time. And Tyson Campbell kind of has a skill set that is. So if we can see him stay healthy, I'm pumped, but I got to see it first.
So I guess
outside of edge, I think the drop off from the top guy on the team to the second best guy on the team is biggest at corner. So like out of your top two edges, if one of those guys isn't out there, you're screwed, right? Obviously you need Trayvon and Josh, but I think the drop off between Tyson and Darby and Brown is also massive. Like you mentioned, like he is a huge might even be an understatement. Like
yep.
He is a very, very, very good corner in this league when he's healthy. Darby is average and Buster Brown is average. They have different skill sets. Buster Brown plays his butt off, but he just doesn't have the physical attributes to be a great corner. And, Darby's been pretty inconsistent here in Jacksonville so far. So if Tyson can stay healthy, sky's the limit for him. But you're right. He's got to stay healthy.
So I don't mean to cut you off, Dalton, but I said this, and I said this on my show. Jarian Jones is obviously the elephant in the room, the guy we drafted to kind of help in that position group. But to me, and I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this, he's looked like a rookie. Like he looks a little undersized at times. He looks a little lost at times. Is that something you think he can kind of, because Monteric Brown was pretty bad his rookie year, but ended up kind of being better. Like, are you worried about Jarian Jones? Because he looks a little lost out there.
I think he's had enough flashes to get me encouraged. It's very difficult to play nickel, especially as a rookie. I think you see a lot of young guys come in, try to play nickel, and it's a struggle because there's so much happening at nickel. You have your two-way goes. You have guys can go upfield. You have teams attacking you with all sorts of different run concepts. I mean, it's difficult. And I think Jarian Jones absolutely has a bright future.
And I also think the veteran leadership around him isn't great. I mean, Andre Cisco's struggling. You have, Savage that's been out. Ronald Darby isn't having a great year. But I'm curious with you guys, like your ideal, if you can only start, 5 players in the defensive backfield, 2 safeties, 3 cornerbacks, like who is your ideal starting lineup for the Jaguars with the roster they have right now?
I'm going to hear yours first, Jordan.
Ooh, hate to say it, but Cisco and Dewey.
Wow.
Savage in the slot, Tyson and Darby.
So Darby over Monteric Brown?
Yeah.
What about you, Jason?
Yeah, mine was different. Mine's a little different. Not much different though. I'm with you. I mean, Dewey's there. Dewey's definitely there. I got Dewey. I got Tyson Campbell. I got Cisco, and then I have Monteric Brown over Darby. I get
I like
it.
the way he plays better, but
And for me, it's specifically how Ryan Nielsen wants to play. Like, if he gets back to what he did in Atlanta, which I don't know why he got away from this, is play that press man at the line of scrimmage with your corners and send some pressure. Like, if you do that, that's Monteric Brown's game. That's not Ronald Darby's game. If you're going to, this is what's unfair from what we've seen from the Jags all year, is to play off man press and send 4 and ask guys to cover. Yeah, I mean, Darby is better technically at that, but that's not what Ryan Nielsen wants to do. And we know that. Send pressure, let Monteric Brown bully ball the receiver at the line of scrimmage, put Savage in the nickel, let him do the same thing. Cisco isn't a great coverage guy, but we saw in the last game with the pass breakup he made with that on that outside the corner route. He came in and broke up the ball on that play. That's his skill set. Let him do that. Let Tyson Campbell cover. And I think that's your best 5 back there. But if you get into this realm of like outside of who you are because it's not just what Ryan Nielsen wants to do. It's who we've seen the team build their defense around that type of defense. And bring like the fact that you got rid of Darius Williams and the fact that you kept Monteric Brown and all of these things pointed to like they wanted to play that man cover 1, bully ball at the line of scrimmage and get pressure. And then for some reason, probably because of the personnel issues, they got away from that. So if they want to do what they are supposed to do, that's the 5 I want.
yeah.
So what's
and
Antonio
they brought
Johnson's
Darby
role
in
going
for
forward?
that.
He's never been a physical corner, though. I mean, he
but they brought him in to be sticky in man coverage. He struggled a little bit to do that.
Struggled a
and
lot.
Buster, he at the line of scrimmage hasn't played physical, and he has to. Like when he has been impressed, you haven't seen him getting
tosses and those outside zones. Monteric Brown's there. Like
yeah, absolutely. I'm saying
right.
in
screens,
coverage,
all that.
I'm saying in coverage.
Yeah,
the way he plays coming downhill against the run and against those lateral type of plays, absolutely, you love that, and that's why you like him so much. And he plays hard and physical in the right way, but like he does not have the speed, the length, the athleticism to keep up with a lot of guys. And so you're either way, whether it's Darby or Buster Brown, you have an issue.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what you do with Antonio Johnson going forward. Is he in rotations or is he just straight to the bench?
No, you cut him.
Big nickel.
You cut him.
You cut him.
Big nickel. He did big nickel really well last year. I think that's his role.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Or,
definitely been
you want to call it dime, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
I mean, man, you really wanted that to work out just because, man, like under contract for 2 more years after this. And, you obviously got a decision to make on Cisco. Like,
hey,
the safety position
cheap
for the Jaguars. Yeah, that's true.
You
and
can get good safety
get
players.
a veteran in there, too.
The fact that we're all sitting here agreeing that, like, oh, yeah, Dewey's way better should tell you something.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's rough.
I just think he can bring a level of competency that you haven't seen consistently.
And also, when it comes to a defense full of a bunch of loafers, like you'll never see Dewey not going 100%. Like that's a good thing about him. Unless he's
trying to tackle Derrick Henry, he's good to go.
Yeah,
but he creates turnovers. He creates turnovers, which is what we're lacking.
And like I said, he has the energy that it feels like will rub off on people around him, and he'll hopefully make people around him play better. And that's one to look out for. Also, is Tashawn Gibson set to come back at all, or is he?
No.
Excuse me, who? Is that a player?
Tashawn Gibson.
Is that a player for the Jaguars?
Yeah.
Dude, he was a part of Jacksonville or whatever that was.
Technically, no. I mean, he's not. He's suspended, and the NFL let him go to London with the Jaguars, but then didn't allow him to come back from suspension, and there's no word on it.
I heard they didn't let him fly back from London. I heard he's still in London. That's what
I heard he's back with what was it? Man, remember when they all got in trouble out in London? Remember when they all got in trouble out in London? It was
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
it was that dude that got traded to the Browns that from Alabama. Ronnie Harrison was out there and like a whole crew. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, pint to pint, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. But yeah, guys, this has been Club Jaguar. I know we've been a little bit MIA the last 2 weeks, but guys, this shows every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Tell all your friends, share this on Facebook, share it on Reddit, share it on the Twitter, share it everywhere, okay? The word needs to get out that the Jaguars are 2-5. but we're 5-2. We're 5-2. Okay, we missed 2 streams.
That's the word that needs to get out. Is that we're 2-5?
The Jaguars are 2-5. Even though the Jaguars are 2-5, we're 5-2. Okay, we missed 2 streams, but it's all good. Okay, this is the first victory stream because unfortunately the Hurricane Milton came at us after the Colts game, but couldn't keep Club Jaguar down for long. But yeah, we got over here. We have Jordan from Gin Jag. Jordan, tell us a little bit about what you got coming up on the channel.
Well, same thing I have at Thursday and Friday pretty much every week as long as I'm in town, which I haven't been in town a lot lately. But we've got game preview tomorrow, matchups to watch, keys to victory, bold predictions, all the good stuff. We'll monitor what's going on with Foye and Dewey and all these guys, see if they're able to play on Sunday, and also see what's going on with the Packers as well. We're going to be watching the Orlando Magic take down the Miami Heat. They're up 16 in the third quarter right now.
Proud to say
exciting stuff.
Yes.
So I'm fired up to go watch the fourth quarter of that one. But yeah, this is awesome. Love doing it. Even though I haven't been able to come on basically in a month, which is ridiculous. I apologize. It's never going to happen again. I have successfully, not against the spread, but just straight up picked the last 4 games. I'm 4-3 now, and I really hope that I'm 4-4 after this week.
All right. So
right,
let's hear from Jason. Word is that Jason is going live to do the Orlando Magic play-by-play right after this. Is that true, Jason?
It's not true. It's not true.
I don't know. People in the chat were saying something like that.
Oh, so. No. That's no, not me. Not me. I stick to Tuesdays and Fridays. Typically, my cat is biting me. Sorry about that. I just got attacked by my cat randomly. All right.
Do we need to call animal control? Do we need to call animal control?
I mean, yeah. Okay. So Tuesdays and Fridays we do live shows. It's been weird lately, but it's always weird, I guess, now I think about it. So I think you'll like it. You might not, but we talk Jags for at least 60% of the time. The other 40% are like life lessons and other random things. So yeah, check
Local
it out.
Sriracha,
big Sriracha.
Yeah,
guy.
Rasa Sriracha, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We got our channel is sponsored by a Sriracha company. So it's good Sriracha. They don't give me any money, but they're a Jags fan, so I'm gonna pump them. So
if you hang around Jason's stream, there's like what is it called? Like an aura, or what's the word I'm thinking about? I don't know. There's
degeneracy, maybe
that. It's like there's an aura around it. No, a lore was the word I'm looking for. There is definitely a Jaguars United lore, a lot of inside jokes, and you guys have to go back there. You guys can be a part of it, okay? You don't want to be missing out on that.
That is true, actually. That's well said.
So that's the good stuff going on over there, and I'm gonna make a video in the next few days. I don't know what it's gonna be about.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
be live streaming the game on Sunday. I enjoy doing that and sharing the excitement or misery with everybody. And it's a lot of fun. So yeah, if there's only 3 YouTubers you guys keep in check with, we're gonna have you guys covered here. And of course, there's many great ones out there, but we are the ones that are here today. So we're gonna pump us up. We're gonna pump us up. Okay. So
what are y'all's thoughts on changing the name to 3 Hats and 3 Beards podcast?
3 hats and 3. I mean,
you
don't gotta keep throwing that thing out, Jason.
Yeah, sometimes you don't come with the beard, bro. Like the 5 o'clock shadow. Is a 5 o'clock shadow a beard?
You gotta keep them guessing. You know, you can't let them know your
next week. This thing's gonna be a little bit more tamed, unfortunately.
Wow, Jason or Jordan, when was the last time you saw your chin?
2009.
Oh man, are you sure it's still there?
No, I'm not.
2009, I was in the club dancing to Tayo Cruz. So that's for any perspective for anybody.
Man, that's a long time, man.
Well, yeah, I went to Bishop Kenny and I had to shave. 2009 is when I graduated.
So then you graduate and you became an outlaw.
Yep.
It's like having strict parents. All of a sudden you go crazy.
Yeah. Like,
that's how you feel about the beard game.
Screw the Catholics. I'm growing my beard out.
I would never say that.
He would never ever say that. Do not put words. Jordan's gonna put in his notice if you try to talk bad about that. Okay. So, all right, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Also, guys, on your way out, please drop a like. It helps out the stream. Look, if you guys are here this whole time lurking and just watching and you guys aren't dropping likes, then fuck you, okay? That's not cool.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
So drop a like, okay? Or else I'll find
man.
you. I'll find you somewhere.
And tell a friend. Tell a friend.
Yeah, tell a friend too.
Word of mouth is so much better. Like,
yeah, word of mouth is great.
go tell somebody.
We need that. And even just, I mean, just log in your computer, log into all your devices and just keep us open and just let it run. Okay. I'm sure YouTube likes that too. Just do everything you can to pump up the show. Also, guys, subscribe to Jordan and Jason. Their links down below. Also, big shout out to the sponsor, BetUS. 150% deposit bonus using promo code YouTube150. And with that said, enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully, we come back here next week on a victory Wednesday. But regardless, we will be back next week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and go Jags.